Hey fans, welcome back to United Report. Please subscribe for more updates. Zinedine Zidane has been linked with Manchester United on several occasions, with the French legend's agent making his client's position clear on managing in the Premier League. Whenever the position of Manchester United manager appears unstable, the name of a football icon inevitably surfaces: Zinedine Zidane. The Real Madrid and France hero has been linked with United on several occasions over the years, near the end of Jose Mourinho's reign, after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, and now, albeit more distantly, with Erik ten Hag struggling to hold on to his position following a disastrous start to the season. Zidane's name is typically thrown into the mix whenever a top-tier club job becomes available or seems likely to be. The closest he came to joining United was after Solskjaer's departure. But the World Cup and Euros winner ruled himself out. Reports in France have suggested that he is being considered as a replacement for Didier Deschamps as the national team's boss. Given Deschamps' World Cup triumphs as both a player and manager, appointing someone of Zidane's stature would seem logical. However, according to French outlet, RMC Deschamps has no plans to step down soon, as he wants to prevent Zidane from overshadowing his legacy. As a result, United might have an opportunity to secure Zidane should Ten Hag be axed soon. But despite the allure of United, Zidane and his representative have previously hinted that the Old Trafford managerial job doesn't align with his preferences. Back in 2018, during a break from his tenure at Real Madrid, Zidane's agent Alain Migliaccio expressed reservations, saying, "I do not think that he will manage in England. It is much less his style. I have discussed it with him. It does not really attract him." In 2021, post-Solskjaer's departure, Zidane himself addressed the speculation linking him to the Red Devils, citing language as a barrier in an interview with L'Équipe. He said, "Would I want to go to Manchester United? I understand English, but I'm not completely fluent in it. I know that there are coaches who go to clubs without speaking the language, but I work in a different way. Many elements come into play in order to win. It is a global context. I know what I need to win." Thomas Tuchel, who held talks with United in the summer before Ten Hag was kept on, remains the favorite to be United's next boss. Former England boss Gareth Southgate has ruled himself out after declaring he wants to take an extended break from the game before his next job. Manchester United are ready to sell Harry Maguire 3 months after the England defender claimed that he's been told he has a future at Old Trafford. Maguire, 31, is currently in the final year on his contract with United, who are understood to be willing to cash in for as little as £10 million during the upcoming January transfer window. The centre-back cost the Red Devils £80 million to sign from Leicester City in 2019, with manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer handing him the captaincy midway through his debut season. Under Solskjaer's successor, Erik ten Hag, Maguire has endured a difficult few years. After struggling for regular minutes during Ten Hag's first campaign, he was stripped of the club captaincy and offered to West Ham. A deal didn't materialize, though, and Ten Hag eventually became reliant on Maguire last season as the Red Devils were hit with a lengthy injury crisis at centre-back. Despite his treatment, Maguire, who missed out on a call-up to this month's England squad before suffering an injury against Aston Villa, has constantly remained loyal to United, who've had a disastrous campaign so far. Speaking in July, he presumed that he was part of the club's future plans. Asked if he wanted to stay at Old Trafford, Maguire told Sky Sports, "Unless the club tell me I'm up for sale or I'm not wanted there anymore. Everything I've heard and the action I've been shown from the club, I'm part of the future, and it is time to crack on and make this club successful again, challenging for the big trophies. That's what this club demands." The 31-year-old recently came to Ten Hag's rescue to snatch a late 3-3 draw with Porto in the Europa League, with United having squandered a 2-goal lead. Maguire came on as a substitute after fellow right-sided centre-back Matthijs de Ligt endured yet another difficult outing following his £43 million move from Bayern Munich in August. United also signed French prospect Lenny Yoro from Lille in the summer for £52 million. only for the 18-year-old to suffer an injury in pre-season, which is set to rule him out until November. Euro's return will see United boast 6 senior center-backs, although half of them are out of contract next June. Alongside Maguire, Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof are also in the final 12 months of their deals, and none of the trio look likely to extend. Evans partnered Maguire at Villa Park for half of the 0-0 draw before Lindelof came on at the break and was used as a right-back. The noises coming out of the current Manchester United dressing room have a worryingly familiar air to them. They look like they wanted it more than us, and that can't be right, said Christian Eriksen after last month's 1-1 Europa League draw with FC Twente. Then fellow esteemed colleague Johnny Evans admitted the talk around Erik Ten Hag's future is impacting the mindset of the squad. It does affect the players, he explained after the goalless draw with Aston Villa. It's on our minds too. That was the important thing, to show the spirit we have in the team. The angst has now been cranked up a notch by a telling, not overly unexpected concession from Captain Bruno Fernandes. It's not a positive moment, he said, of United's mood while away on Portugal duty. We're not winning games, and the national team space is completely different. Fernandes, who was able to net for Portugal against Scotland last month, has not enjoyed his most fruitful start to the season and is yet to score from 11 outings in United's famous red shirt. It's about improving as soon as I get back there, Fernandes admitted, referencing his return to United after the international break. Making the goals appear again because I'm a midfielder that scores a lot of goals and has over the years always shown a very high level of goals. I have to live up to those expectations and to my standards. What I've been doing is not at all what I want for this season because I haven't scored at the club yet. I hope that once I get there, I can score and help my club get back to winning ways and be at a good level. The future of his manager with United remains ambiguous following the conclusion of a pre-scheduled board meeting between senior boardroom figures in London on Tuesday. The Manchester Evening News understands that Ten Hag himself expects to still be in his job next week. Leaks of dressing room dissatisfaction have been common occurrences over the last decade, with Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ralf Rangnick, and even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all having to contend with such events with Ten Hag, no exception in having to deal with that either. Just over a year ago, several players were said to be becoming disillusioned with his tactics, and in March, some were concerned with running drills in training amid a spate of persistent injuries. But things have, seemingly now, got a bit more blatant, as proven by 3 aforementioned players. The recent admissions of Eriksen, Evans, and now Fernandes in front of TV cameras and broadcaster microphones does not bode too well. It is admirable honesty from all 3, but does not offer the job reference Ten Hag needs at such a challenging time. Players media-trained and consequently often tight-lipped do not make such confessions unless more than a handful of teammates feel the same way or the situation is undeniably obvious. In normal circumstances, a draw away at Porto with 10 men and a lockout at Villa Park are good results. But Fernandes's admission this week shows where United really are in context. Just 3 wins from 10 games in all competitions, just 2 in the Premier League. A table rank of 14th and scoreless in 3 league outings. Fortunately for Ten Hag, the schedule looks a lot kinder on paper, at least on the other side of this international break. Fenerbahce away in Europe and Chelsea at home in early November is as tough as it gets for that sequence. Brentford, West Ham, Leicester City twice, and PAOK in the Europa League denotes perhaps a more appetizing run until the next international break in November. The fresh comments from the United captain do not help Ten Hag in his case for revival, but the fixture list does. Should yet further poor results follow, however, then supporters could well see the confessions from the United dressing room become even more uncensored moving forward.